In any given downtown district office, employees come and go. So this means that your CRM users will change as well. So it's important to understand best practices when it comes to individual users in District 360. First and most importantly, the best practice is to never delete or replace an individual user. Instead, what you want to do is either activate or deactivate users as people come and go. The reason you don't want to just replace a former user's name with a new team member's name is this. The system information section of every page in District 360 tracks and shows who created the record, who last updated the record, and the full activity of every user. So a user's fingerprints, if you will, are peppered throughout the system. And if you simply replace a former user's name with a new user's name, then your entire system will show the new user attached to all of the activity that the previous user performed. For example, say Jane left the organization and Larry was hired to replace her. If we simply delete Jane and replace her name with Larry, then his name would be associated with everything that Jane did in District 360 long before Larry was even hired. This can cause a lot of confusion, not to mention the fact that the user information is, of course, completely incorrect. Instead of wiping all of this user activity and data and essentially falsely altering historical organization information, the best practice is always to just deactivate the profile of the former user and create a new profile for the new user. This way, you'll always have accurate records and information that's important to your team. Now, I'm going to show you how to create a new user profile. And just a note, in order to do this, you will need to have administrator privileges. To get started, navigate to the top right cog or gear icon and click on Setup. This brings you into the administrator or backend management system of your District 360 Salesforce CRM. On the top left side panel, you'll see a quick search bar. So just start by typing users in here and you'll see a selection that says users. Select this and you should see a complete set of your users. There's a small pick list or drop down here where you can toggle between all users, meaning all users to ever use your system over all of time. Active users are those who are currently assigned licenses in your Salesforce District 360. And admins, which are users who have access to the backend management for tasks such as this, activating and deactivating users. Now you want to locate the person that you'd like to deactivate and click Edit next to their name on the left side. This takes you to the user's complete profile. In the right-hand column, you'll see this active checkbox. Just uncheck it and then click OK when you see this pop up and then hit Save. And now you have a free license that you can assign to a new team member. If you get a notification for 3 different options, check these only if it is a permanent deactivation, such as in the case of someone leaving the organization. If you're only deactivating a user temporarily, don't check any of these boxes because you'll want to reinstate them or reactivate them later. It's worth noting that it's actually very difficult to delete a user from Salesforce. And the reason for this is because everything that's done in this database, like we mentioned before, is tracked by the user. So deleting someone would essentially erase their fingerprints from everything that they ever touched, from updating a record to creating an object. And this is particularly important in many highly regulated industries, and it's why it's important to activate and deactivate users rather than deleting or replacing them. Now, to activate a new user, you find your way to the same administrative or backend area of District 360 the way that we did in the beginning of the video. Click on New User here at the top and fill in the necessary information. Pay close attention to the profile that you assign to the new user. If you have multiple profiles based on level of access, be sure that you're assigning the correct one to the new user. Typically, this will be your standard profile or something similar. Click Save, and this will trigger an email to the email address that you entered for the new user with a hyperlink for them to activate their account and create their own password. If you just want to keep someone from logging into Salesforce, you can also use this freeze option. but this won't free up a license. This is primarily used if you can't deactivate someone right away, such as when a user is selected in a custom hierarchy field or a user that's assigned as the sole recipient of a workflow email alert. So while a user is frozen, and once we have cleaned up everything assigned to them, then we can deactivate that user. I hope this was helpful. Please let us know if you have any questions about this or anything else in the comments. And of course, please subscribe to our channel for lots more tips on how to make the most of your Salesforce District 360 for your downtown district.